What's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu. So I was scrolling through Twitter as I usually do, and I saw that AOC was trending. I think it was yesterday or whatever, and she's still going on about the whole Capitol raid and everything. And look, y'all saw my coverage of it before. Y'all know how I feel about it, and the way I feel about it is like those people are a representation of the failures of the neoliberal agenda, the failures of Congress to actually serve people, and just honestly, like decades upon decades of just anger of the American people. And like, I'm not condoning the racist elements that were there, but however, this is what happens when a government fails to serve its people. That's just what happens. So if y'all want to know more about how I felt about the Capitol situation, just go ahead and watch my previous videos about it. But AOC is still banging on about getting like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and people fired and and shit like that, getting them ousted from the Senate. So came across this video. I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
If you are learning things about me in the course of this live that you didn't know before, and it's not, a thing about hiding or anything like that, but, sometimes you just can't tell the same story over and over. So anyways, the reason I say this and the reason I'm getting emotional in this moment is because these folks who tell us to move on, that it's not a big deal, that we should forget what's happened, or even telling us to apologize, these are the same tactics of abusers. And I'm a survivor of sexual assault. And I haven't told many people that in my life. But when we go through trauma compounds on each other. And so whether you had a negligent or, a neglectful parent, or whether you had someone who was verbally abusive to you, whether you are a survivor of abuse, whether you experience any sort of trauma in your life, small to large, these episodes can compound on one another. There's no, something really big happening to you, and then...
All right, so as y'all saw that, she was talking about being a survivor and things like that, and it's like, I really feel for her. I'm sorry that happened to her. Obviously, I still feel the same way I feel about the Capitol. I feel the way a lot of those people do. I'm not saying she should apologize for those people's behavior. I'm not saying she shouldn't have felt scared. But what I'm saying is it's time for you to fucking move on and serve your constituents in a way that you've been failing them. So that's how I feel about that angle of it. Now, when it comes to the sexual assault and her being a survivor, I'm sorry that happened to her. That's obviously a traumatic event. However, I tend to not like take your like word caring about survivors and everything when it comes to this woman, Tara Reade. This is what Tara Reade wrote an op-ed after seeing that AOC video, and she said, "I believe AOC when she says she is a survivor of sexual assault." I don't know if I do. Like I said, if it did happen to her, I'm sorry that happened to her. But this is the same woman who said Jimmy Dore was committing violence on her by telling her to go fuck herself as he was demanding her to do the things that he helped get her elected for. So, and then on top of that, she's a politician, so I don't believe a fucking word she says off rip. But why could she not say the same about me? So let's read Tara Reade's op-ed. The Congresswoman's revelation about her trauma have been unquestioningly believed by the media, yet I can barely get anyone to listen to me when I spoke out. Once again, it seems Me Too only applies when politically convenient. As I watched AOC's online discussions about trauma and being afraid for her life at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., I felt compassion and the pain of recognition. I had something dark and life-altering happen to me there, something that shattered my future until I finally spoke out. In 1993, I thought my career had just really started. I did not know it was the beginning of the end. Joe Biden was my boss and a powerful senator in 1993 when he pushed me against that wall and violated me without my consent. Last night, I listened to Congresswoman AOC and felt her pain at the prospect of her life being threatened and the description of her being a survivor of sexual assault. Me Too trended, clunking back to life, sputtering its support after it waved its hypocritical white flag when I stepped up to tell the world what happened to me in 1993. By the way, Alyssa Milano, y'all know I did a video about her before. Alyssa Milano she's one of the biggest Me Too proponents out there. Then she said she went from saying believe all women no matter what to, well, when it comes to Joe Biden, we need to see evidence. So fuck her. Fuck Alyssa Milano. Instead of support from Me Too and AOC or any other Democrat, I was silenced and shamed for even daring to speak my history. Joe Biden was placed in his present position of commander-in-chief, and my messy, inconvenient story, this is what people were saying about her, my messy, inconvenient story was shoved under the recesses while the New York Times, Newsweek, and other mainstream media lavish propagandized praise on Joe Biden. I will not call him president. Respect must be earned, and this man violated me, then covered it up, and then went to lengths to silence me. To me, Joe Biden will always be that arrogant, insecure man with greasy hair plugs and cold hands who took my innocence all the way. At the heart of the country, symbol of democracy. Do I believe AOC? Yes. That's crazy. So I'm not laughing at what happened to her. I'm laughing at her describing Joe Biden, kind of like how how Democrats describe Donald Trump. Very, very eye-opening. However, does AOC believe me on the subject of sexual assault? She has publicly waffled about my experience being not clear-cut so as not to upset the sainted Democratic leadership. Time will tell if AOC truly stands with survivors. Do I believe the Democratic Party uses the Me Too movement as a shield and holds it up only when politically convenient? Absolutely. I will believe there is a real movement in America to end rape culture when belief in survivors is not a partisan undertaking. I will believe in the movement when Joe Biden is held accountable and there is a Senate investigation into what happened to me when I worked for him. Or a release of his files in the University of Delaware, now sealed out of the Freedom of Information Act's reach. Until that day, in my view, the hijacked Me Too movement lay strewn among the empty hashtags like political roadkill, forgotten instead. By coming forward, I had my life threatened, my character smeared, and was called every name imaginable until I was dismissed by certain media. I've even been threatened with prison. However, I will not speak about what happened. However, I will speak about what happened. Nothing will silence me. So I hear you, AOC, about the injustice and trauma you endured. You hear me. And what she was talking about with AOC is Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says Biden's sexual assault allegation not clear cut. So that's how she feels about that. And also what she was talking about is at the University of Delaware, and I literally live about 20 minutes from college. I go there and party sometimes and everything. But, well, pre-COVID. But the University of Delaware sued for denying information requests for Biden's Senate collection. So basically, to those of you that don't know, there was when they did the investigation back then, allegedly there's evidence. Well, I believe there's evidence there. So I'll say allegedly for the sake of it, but this nigga did this shit. I believe he did this shit. Like, if y'all needed to see the evidence, go look that shit up. I'm telling you, Joe Biden did this shit. But the proof of it would be in those those documents and shit like that, and the University of Delaware is refusing to release them. So I inquire, if you're a student of the University of Delaware and you claim to care about rape victims, like a lot of you college girls talk about this stuff, and I'm not saying that to put you down. I'm saying that to, like, you need to be thorough when it comes to the Me Too movement. You can't just be about the Me Too movement when it's like towards Donald Trump and fucking conservatives and people you don't like. You got to be thorough with that. So, but yeah, this is like just fat again. This is AOC. This is who she is. She, like, it comes off as very slimy. She's continuing to pushing this narrative on trying to get Ted Cruz thrown out of the Senate and get Josh Hawley and shit thrown out of the Senate. When it's like, you could be kind of spending your time, like, fighting for $2,000 checks. You could be spending your time forcing to vote for Medicare for all. You already voted for Nancy Pelosi. How about, you got those PAYGO exemptions that have nothing to do with Medicare? How about you actually like fight for shit instead of this? And it's like, I'm sorry, y'all can say I'm coming off as an asshole. Like I said, if she really experienced sexual assault, I'm sorry that happened to her. However, I don't give a fuck in terms of the context of you comparing it to the Capitol riot. Get over it. When it comes to the Capitol riot, yes, you need to get over it. You need to get over it. Sorry, not sorry. I don't care. You can have Katie Porter on there crying, saying I'm a mom and I felt for you. I don't fucking care. I don't care. You told me to go fuck myself when I told you to force the vote against Nancy Pelosi. You told me to go fuck myself. You didn't even tell me to go fuck myself. You just ignored me. You ignored a whole swath of your followers. So I don't care. Do your fucking job. At this point, I don't even care if you do your job, because I'm going to be pushing for you to get primary, personally. That's what I'm for. And by, whether it's third-party people, definitely not Democrats or Republicans primarying you, but definitely when it comes to third party, we need to be building up these third parties. This is unfucking believable. This is unfucking real. AOC is a hypocrite. She's a piece of shit at this point, I would say. I would feel most of you agree with me. And it's time for change, yo. I'm tired of these people. And she needs to go. And I stand with Tara Reade. I believe Tara Reade. AOC doesn't. AOC said it's not clear cut. How about, since it's not so clear cut, AOC, how about you use your congressional power to get those documents released? How about you push for those documents to get released? But you're not going to do that, because you're not going to challenge the party. And that is exactly, as Kyle Kalinske says, that is exactly what they were put there to do. They were put there to do a hostile takeover of the party, and so far they've been bending the knee to the party. So I think that's a fitting way to close it out. As always, hit that thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate you checking out the videos and everything. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Y'all know how I'm feeling. Y'all know how I'm rocking out. Like I said, any sexual assault survivors out there, I feel y'all and I'm with y'all. I'm calling this out specifically because this is political bullshit. This is political fuckery. This is them making a mockery of your trauma and your struggles. So that's how I feel, and I would like to believe that's how a lot of you feel. This is bullshit. This is literally the same as her saying Jimmy Dore telling her to go fuck herself. It's committing violence against her. Like I said, I'm sorry if she actually did experience sexual assault, which I don't know if I believe that, because she's a politician and she has a history of fucking being a slimy, Weasley liar. I don't know if I believe that. If it did happen to her, I'm sorry. But bringing that up to continue pushing this bullshit narrative about the Capitol riots, nah, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, like I said. More videos coming soon. There's going to be some guests on. I hope y'all enjoy them. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Peace.